Aloha everyone, Brooke Emmanuel with Hele Fitness, here with Uncle Dean from Ho'okua'aina.
Oh, I feel old.
We're out here in the Lo'i today. Just wanted to introduce our community to Uncle Dean and his organization, Ho'okua'aina, and some of the great work that they're doing here in Kailua. And I'd love to just have a little talk story with you, Uncle, if you don't mind.
Completely. No, it sounds great. Sounds great.
Maybe you could start, just tell us a little bit about our place, where we are right now, where we're standing.
Yeah, so we're on the island of Oahu, in the district of Ko'olaupoko, in the Ahupua'a of Kailua, in the area that is now referred to as Maunawili, and on the specific ili aina, or the ili of Kapalai. So this is Kapalai, and so welcome.
You know, we had a community day out here one time. We brought some of our Hele team. Everyone had a great time. It's always nice to kind of reconnect and recalibrate, coming and touching and working in the aina. As you may not see right now, but we're all barefoot walking around here, and it's not often that we kind of put the technology away, come here, kind of reset, you know. And I think for us with Hele Fitness, you know, we talk a lot about mana and embracing your inner mana. And so, you know, when we talk about that inner voice and that interconnectedness, coming to a place like this really helps with that connectivity. Maybe there's something that you would like to share from your perspective and what you guys teach when people come here in regards to that?
What we found is that it's really connections that people, that is essential for, I think, well-being. I'm an educator by trade. I taught in the Department of Education for nearly 15 years, and I taught challenged or at-risk youth. My last job teaching was actually at the Hawaii Youth Correctional Facility. It's our state prison where I taught the incarcerated boys. And while everybody had different stories, challenging backgrounds, for most of my students, the common denominator that I saw and still continue to see is lack of connection. Yeah, a lot of times you're connected to family, or you're connected to a place or a way of being, maybe a culture. Maybe there's connections within the community, that you're part of a church, or maybe you're part of a sport team, a gym, as an example, right? But when those lack of connections, when those connections are not there, I should say, there's the potential for people to become very dangerous because there's no connectivity. And so our premise or our mindset was that, you know, worldwide, we're all from the aina, and while I say that the growing of Kalo is a very Hawaiian thing, it's not exclusively Hawaiian. It's we're all indigenous to some place. We all grow food from some place. We all had to have aina sustain, if not ourselves, but those who came before us. Yeah. Right. And so what we simply sought was to create a gathering place for community here, for people to come and make the most simplistic of connections that I think we often overlook. It seems it has become devalued, but the most primal connection I think we have is to aina. And that once we engage with aina, we start to connect with aina with other people. There's the spirituality aspect that comes in. People come here and they feel the peace. Right. They feel that there's that mana that you speak about. It resides here, and so those connections then start to take place in multiple ways. And I think we have seen and we have experienced a holistic, I don't want to necessarily say healing, but it's a part of it, but it's also this well-being that resonates from something that is kind of simply, you know, very mundane-ish, but very foundational, I think, to human well-being.
Absolutely. I would add to that, you know, one of our views on mana is it's both omniscient everywhere we look, and life has energy. And specifically our inner mana, there's things that we can do through action that either diminish our mana or amplify. And when we come into a place like this, or surrounding like this, or you catalyze a community to come together to generate more of those connection points that you're talking about, I think those are the things that really amplify our mana. Yeah, so thankful that you guys are doing such great work here, because we need more of it.
Well, mahalo. I think if I may share the Hawaiian mindset of lokahi.
So, yeah, please.
Yeah, so lokahi, as I understand it, means it's really a state of being. And so it means to be, if you look it up in the Hawaiian dictionary, it's to be in unity, to be in agreement, to be in harmony, to be in balance. And so sometimes that might be a little esoteric for me. So I think of what's the opposite of that. So, you know, to be in disagreement, to be, instead of in harmony, but to be in the opposite. What is that? When you have clashing sounds, you know, in basically noise, dissonance actually is the word. To be off balance, to be in disunity. So I think most of us, when, you know, on the spectrum of where we would most want to live our lives, what kind of state we'd want to live in, I think most of us would want to live more in the line of agreement, harmony, balance, unity, as opposed to the opposite of that. And so, as I've learned from a Hawaiian perspective and worldview, what's fundamental in order for that to take place in one's life is there are three primary connections or relationships that are of utmost importance. The first is one's spirituality. So, you know, for me, this is with Keakua. And then the next one is with our fellow Kanaka, our fellow human beings. And then the last one is with the Aina as well as Kai. You know, Hawaiians were, Aina and Kai are one and the same as an island people. And so, you know, when it comes to maybe our connectivity, our spirituality, some people may feel like, you know, we're proactive in that, right? Because you need to be proactive, right? And you need to take initiative. And so maybe we do yoga, maybe we meditate, maybe we go to church, whatever that might be. But maybe some of us may feel that when it comes to that spirituality, we're aware of it, we know it's real, and we try to foster that connection. When it comes to then our interpersonal relationships, like with our fellow Kanaka, our fellow human beings, we know, you know, we step on each other's toes sometimes, and there's always the need to always be purposeful in engaging so that those relationships, starting from, you know, the closest ones, our family and our, maybe our partner, our wife, you know, and then moving out, our kids, etc., that we're continuing to be purposeful in the intentionality of that pilina, that relationship. When it comes to having a relationship with the Aina and the Kai, we're challenged by that. It's simply because of the way the world has, quote unquote, progressed. Yeah, and continues to move in that direction. You know, what we like to think is that we provide an opportunity for people to come and make that connection to the third component and element that enables for lokahi to take place in one's life. And I think once you start to see and experience that, and the need, then you start to really understand the need for that in one's life, how really primal and central it is to well-being. Is just being connected to, like, Aina, to Mother Earth. It's not rocket science by any means. It's just something that I think we've forgotten a little bit and are remembering and are returning to.
I think you're absolutely right, because when I think of lokahi and the three components, you talk about Kua, Kanaka, and Aina. And the Aina piece is missing, I think, the three legs of a stool, right? And it's falling over, and then like just that one missing leg, and then that kind of brings everything back into balance and back into harmony for you. That's why coming to a place like this is so impactful, I think, for so many people, because it probably is most commonly the missing component, right?
I'm going to remember that, and that's a great one. I'm going to borrow that from you. The three-legged stool. Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's hele mai over to the hale and let's go continue the conversation. But
sounds good. So one of the things that we like to share, kind of, you know, is when we tell people about who we are, is that essentially we have a lo'i, and that through the growing of Kalo, we grow young people and community. So it's kind of a means to a larger end, yeah. Even though, and so, you know, we'll say that sometimes Kalo is kind of like a byproduct of what we do, right? You know, but it actually it's integral and it's all tied in. It's a holistic approach to well-being. And so, but oftentimes people will come up and maybe drive up and they look down at the area and they go, "Wow, you've got a beautiful farm." And you know, I'm always thankful for those comments, those types of comments, and I always say I thank them. But what I often will find is that I will take great lengths to explain to people that actually we're actually not really farmers. We're actually in the people business, you know, and in the sense of, or maybe we are farmers. It's like we're farming people, you know. And so that, because when I gaze out and I look, I definitely see a farm of Kalo that's thriving and growing. But what I also see is a community center, a place where community gathers, yeah. I see a school, a classroom without four walls, yeah. I'll see a fitness place, because it's a place where when you do this type of work, you're always moving your body. You're lifting, you're stretching, you're carrying things, you're walking, you're moving, and there's a physicality that is essential to doing this type of work. So it's like a fitness club. In fact, Uncle Rokava will say, I mean, in contrary, he'll say, no need to go to the fitness club, just work lo'i. You know, I would beg to differ, because I find it integral for me to stretch and to do things outside of the lo'i so that I can do the work in the lo'i and maintain that strength. Yeah, to do both is my perspective. But and then there's other components here. You know, this is a food hub. This is a place where you know, it fosters so many other aspects outside of what many simply term it as just being a farm. It's integral to, I think, overall well-being when one approaches it in that manner, and then really sees as you talk about mana, one sees the mana that comes from this, and what that is created from this place. It's far more than just the commodity of kalos.
Aloha, my name is Kaya Valeota, and I'm from Kaneohe, Hawaii, born and raised. My role here is I'm a part of cohort 3 with the ASA program, the Ahupua apprenticeship. I don't think I could choose a single lesson from this program, only because there's so many specific ones that they go over, but it's the ones that they don't teach and the ones that you just learn when you get here. Because a lot of us here are just hands-on learners, so you get involved with nature and you get involved with great people and connections. You get to get dirty and there's no like repercussions, nobody's gonna yell at you. But it's great people, sweet people, good people. You meet all different types of walks of life here. Before joining this program, I was a part of different types of kaiapuni events or stuff that had to do with our culture and our people and our lahui. But after coming here, I'd say I learned how to be a lot more confident. I learned leadership skills, and I'm trying to continue to take that into other areas like schooling. I'm trying to be more confident when it comes to speaking out and just trying to be a great example for other generations.
So aloha mai kako, my name is Kolana. I'm from Waimanalo, and I've been part of Ho'okuaina for 4 years now, as I am at Alaka'i here today. I came right from high school, I would say, basically. Once I graduated high school, I found this place. Before I met Ho'okuaina, I was more so into construction. I was a mason with my father, and I've definitely gained more confidence here as a person, you know, as a Kane, who I understand with who I am and, you know, who I am and what I do. I definitely, you know, still look a little bigger now, but you wouldn't believe me when I say, you know, how I looked in high school. So physically wise, I did change a lot too. For a person like me who wants to be challenged, I think this is where I want to be. When you get into anything Aina work like this, there's a lot of like-minded people around here, you know. It's not just you. We're all in the same boat. We're all in the same va'a. Doing this work, I mean, I believed in Keakua my whole life, and I will always, you know, believe in coming here is like another way to connecting to him as well. You get physical, you get to talk to your fellow Kanaka, and you get to, you know, get more spiritual in the sense that this work isn't just for yourself, this is for community. You know, it's bigger than yourself, and I think that's why I love to do it.
Well, and speaking of contribution, so besides Hele supporting Ho'okuaina, maybe there's an invitation that we can share with the community about how they would want to come and get involved, maybe, and come see this place. Is there an opportunity for people to come volunteer here?
Oh yeah, completely. So we really have a phenomenal website. It's ho'okuaina.org, and I can say phenomenal because I don't actually do the website. So we have amazing people who run our website and keep it going, and so I would encourage you to check it out, ho'okuaina.org. There's volunteer opportunities. Yeah, we generally always have once a week, if not a few times a week, community groups who come. We have numerous programs. So we're a nonprofit organization, maybe to share a little bit about our programming. The heart of our programming is still working with challenged or at risk youth. So they were the first people who started coming here were actually my students who were in lockup, and they started coming here on a regular basis. We still continue to work with various organizations who work to steward and help challenged youth. We have a school program where, you know, as we started to build out Lo'i, more and more teachers became interested. They want to bring their kids, and we're pretty booked out with that. We then, of course, we produce a lot of kalo and produce poi. We, all the proceeds of the kalo sales, whether it's in the form of raw kalo or in a value-added product such as poi, go back to support us as a nonprofit organization. So if you're into eating poi or kalo, that's a way that one could support us by buying the kalo here as well as the poi. We also have a program with, we have a partnership with Windward Community College where there are numerous kids coming from schools on the Windward side who maybe weren't necessarily projecting going off to college. And what it is an opportunity when they join the program to get their tuition paid for at Windward Community College, to do a 2-year paid internship with us and to hopefully move to the point of acquiring your AA degree. And we have a few who are working toward their BA degree. So, so yeah, just trying to provide those opportunities. And what we really want to see are young people who, they can study whatever they want. There's no track. It's not like you got to go into agriculture or something like that, or Hawaiian studies, which is what most people think. You can go into whatever track, but our mindset is as we have more and more young people start to connect to their backyard, to this area that they grew up in the Ko'olau area, and start to develop that pilina or relationship, that what we will do is that in time, we will have hopefully bastions of young people who have these values of aloha aina, who understand what it takes to grow food, who understand how when you laulima and you work together as a community that you can accomplish much, this kind of community contributor mindset. So it's developing people who have these, young people who have these values, so wherever they go in life, they will retain these values, whether it's in business or law or wherever, because it's in order for us to impact and really, I believe, not only impact and improve our food systems here, which I think we all understand how kind of dire our situation is and the food insecurity we have here in Hawaii, but really creating overall well-being, that it's an opportunity to kind of grow that mindset amongst our youth. And so that's one of our primary programs, a lot of the interns you saw today. So helping out in that regard, of course, we are a nonprofit, so we're always looking to, fundraise and we're continually grant writing. Michelle does all the grant writing and reporting. But a lot of support also comes from simply advocacy. And I think, you as an organization, not only have you supported us financially, not only have you come and been a part of helping to pull weeds and malama aina with us, alongside us, is I think just advocating what we do to others. And that's to me, that's the most valuable, I would say, just advocating for the work that we do here. And it's of tremendous benefit to us. So
honestly, that's really what we're trying to do here today, is to share with our community your story and the impact that Ho'oku'a Aina is having. The hale we're sitting under right now was in part helped built by the boys at Kinaeha, right? Yep. And we supported Kinaeha with our IST competition last year. And it's just all great things happening in the community. We're really honored to be a part of it and happy to know you, Uncle.
Blessed to know you as well and have your support, and we trust continued support. So mahalo nui.
Thank you for sharing with us today. From Uncle Dean, Ho'oku'a Aina, and the Hele Fitness Ohana, mahalo. Aloha.